Hi, I just want to welcome you and say thank you for signing up for our Lent study this year, Making Room, Recovering Hospitality as a Christian Tradition. Just in case you have forgotten, my name is Kira Anderson, and you all are?
My name is John Bell.
Hi, I'm Katie Rob Davis.
This study is loosely based, heavily, to be honest, based on a wonderful book called Making Room, Recovering Hospitality as a Christian Tradition. We created this study for you all so you do not have to read the book, but if you have the time or interest, we highly encourage you to read the book because it's a great book, and but it won't affect you if you do not read the book. You'll still get a great experience from this. So let's just jump in for the first question about hospitality. Really the only question that we're going to talk about today, but you have a lot more to discuss. Hospitality is not a new idea or practice for Christians and churches. So why is this study, Making Room, Recovering Hospitality as a Christian Tradition, important for us today?
Well, I think one of the reasons we wanted to explore the topic of hospitality is because it's super concrete. Hospitality is an action or many different kinds of actions. It can't be just an abstract theological conversation that we have. It has to be enacted. And it's evident, really can be evident in all of our interactions daily in our lives. Hospitality demands that we ask a couple of really important questions. Who is my neighbor? And what is a stranger? Some of the scripture from the Old Testament about hospitality, in those scriptures, God reminds the Israelites to provide hospitality to strangers because you were once strangers in the land of Egypt. So this question of the stranger, I think, will be really important, of our own experience of strangers, of how we meet strangers and how we define that. And I think our society seems to be asking that question right now of who is a stranger, who is a neighbor, who are we going to provide welcome and hospitality to? And so I think it's a pretty important topic to be talking about. I think just one other thing is, and this will come out in the study, is that we live in these private little worlds. We've talked about how our culture has become more and more private. We build bigger and bigger fences around our houses. I even find, my life is Wellshire Church and my extended family and some friends. I rarely find myself in environments that are different from those. Just yesterday, I rode the bus to work, which is kind of an initiative I'm taking just for environmental reasons, try to do that once a week. But to be around people who are not normally inside of my bubble was actually this kind of heart-freeing feeling to not just be around people who are so similar to me all the time. So I think hospitality can help us get out of our bubbles and really asks us to have interactions across lines of difference, which is part of participating in God's creation. So I'm excited about the whole thing.
Excellent. Kira?
Well, Katie covered a lot, so I'm going to say what Katie said. And then just to add some personal reflections that have come up in preparing for this study, that I've realized why I think it's so important to be going through this as a church, is a word that has lost a lot of its beautiful meaning. That I think today, when the average person thinks of hospitality, they think of welcoming your family and friends into your house when you host a holiday dinner or when you host anything at your house. And as someone who grew up in the South, I think of Southern hospitality, and that still involves sweet tea, meals in your house, and it's trying to look perfect. And not that everyone there thinks that, but that's what comes to my mind. But the hospitality that has been going on so long in our history is a moral responsibility. And like how you said, it's about action. And it's so connected to our faith because of Jesus. So it should and go out to your family and friends. But like you were saying, it needs to go to the stranger. It needs to go to the disconnected, the people that have no place. And I think we've just associated the word with that kind of service. And we can learn more about that through this study and ways to actually enhance our faith by acting hospitable. So, your turn.
Okay, gosh, I could talk about hospitality for 6 weeks, which we will during Lent. But today I want to say just a couple of things. First, why now? I think this church, Wellshire Church, could always benefit from being more hospitable. Every few years we make a big run at trying to make the church more hospitable. It's very defeating as a pastor to get that occasional note or letter or phone call from someone who said they came to visit and no one spoke to them, or to have someone join the church only a few months later to come tell me they're leaving the church because they didn't feel welcome in a certain group or with certain people. I once heard that problem with the big church like this is it's like a vacuum cleaner without the back on. It's like we can suck them in and they're happy to be here, but they just go right out the back door if we don't find a way to accommodate them at our table and be hospitable and open up not just our handshakes during the passing of peace, but our lives to these folks. In fact, a large motivation in my mind for the capital improvements that we're doing to the narthex are so that we can have a better visitor experience and have a better place of welcome, so we can actually practice our hospitality on a every Sunday basis here in a more effective way. But second, I want to pick up on what Katie said. With all the concerns of the nation, it's become clear that we're very polarized, that we don't know our neighbors in the broadest sense of that word, and sometimes literal sense of that word. Margaret and I moved into a new neighborhood a couple of years ago now, and we feel like we know our neighbors well, but we know them well from Facebook and text messaging. We all come and go out the back, out of our garages, and we literally very seldom actually see them, and we have not broken bread with them. And one of our goals in this is to intentionally, during Lent especially, make a tangible effort to get to know our neighbors in a more hospitable way. We were with a Buddhist a couple of weeks ago, and he was answering the question, who's my neighbor? And he said, well, your neighbor is the person who lives 40 houses to your north, 40 houses to the south, 40 houses to the east, and 40 houses to the west. Impression, you have a lot of neighbors to work on. So I hope we'll all work on being better neighbors literally, and also become a more hospitable church through this Lenten season. That's it.
Good job. Thanks.
Thanks.